A journey that began back on August 27th with week 0, everything has all come down to this: the national championship game. In one corner, the TCU Horned Frogs, a team of destiny, and in the other corner, the Georgia Bulldogs, the defending national champions. Johnny Talk Sports here with my national championship game preview and predictions. And what a season it has been. This was going to be a big year for college football going into it, as this was a quote unquote transition year for college football, with this being the first season of the transfer portal and NIL taking full effect. On top of that, we got, without a doubt, the best semifinal we've ever had in this college football playoff format. Both games went down to the wire. Exciting finishes, exciting football from start to finish, as that was a big problem with the semifinal matchups in this college football playoff format era. But we got two exciting games, two of the most exciting games in this college football playoff format. And we got one game left this season, the national championship game. Without further ado, let's get to the preview and prediction. Going into this preview and prediction, I wanted to take a look at what the line was for this game. And Georgia right now is a 12.5 point favorite in this game. So essentially a 2 touchdown favorite. And I took a little bit of time to process why would they have the line set at Georgia minus 12.5. And I came to the conclusion that the odds makers may have been paying attention to exactly what I was paying attention to. I was looking on social media about how TCU put up 51 points in the semifinal match against Michigan. However, the TCU defense was responsible for 14 of those points with 2 pick sixes. I am not discrediting or taking away TCU's win and what they did in that matchup, but Michigan beat themselves in that game. Watching the game play out from start to finish, Michigan could and probably should have won that game by at least 17 points. So let's take a look at what we have in this championship game matchup. We have got two top 10 scoring offenses. TCU is 5th in scoring offense, averaging 41.1 points per game, while Georgia is 8th, averaging 39.4 points per game. We have got Georgia 5th in the country in scoring defense, only giving up an average of 14.79 points per game. TCU, their defense has not been good whatsoever this season, at least from a numbers standpoint. But 8 defensive starters for TCU were in the transfer portal last season. So TCU in this championship game, if that doesn't prove that the transfer portal is going to have a big effect on the future of college football, I don't know what will. But they're 70th in run defense, 92nd in pass defense. They are 80th in total defense. So by a number standpoint, this could automatically scream Georgia's going to win by at least 3 touchdowns. Because Georgia, they're 2nd in run defense. They are 4th in sacks allowed. So without a doubt, Georgia has a better O-line in this matchup. 11th in total defense. But there is one strength I think that TCU has in this matchup going in their favor, and that is quarterback Max Duggan. Georgia, they are 65th in pass defense. That is the weakest link in Georgia's team, is their pass defense. We saw C.J. Stroud carve up the Georgia defense in that semifinal matchup in the Peach Bowl, and Georgia nearly lost that game, as Noah Ruggles missed a 50-yard field goal to win the game. TCU 64th in scoring defense, giving them an average of 26.3 points per game. Now, a big concern for TCU, running back Kendre Miller, he is questionable for this matchup, as he left the Fiesta Bowl early in the game. TCU without Kendre Miller, I would be very concerned, which I think there's no doubt that Miller is going to play in this game, as this is the championship game and you just got to lay everything out, put it all out on the field. But I really am going to get to my ultimate prediction here. Let's just look at third down. Georgia, they're 8th in third down conversion percentage. TCU, 47th. Another thing that lines up in Georgia's favor. Georgia's second and third down defensive percentage, only allowing opponents to convert on third down 27.1% of the time. TCU, they're 35th. So TCU's third down defense is one of the better ones in college football, but it's not as dominant as Georgia's. Georgia's 10th in first down offense. TCU is 27th in first down offense. And TCU ranks 47th in sacks allowed. So, with my prediction here, I think that if Quentin Johnson has a stellar game in this matchup, I think TCU has a really strong chance to win. As we saw Marvin Harrison Jr. absolutely dominate in that Peach Bowl against Georgia, how is Georgia going to cover Quentin Johnson, who is possibly going to be the first receiver taken in April's NFL draft? Now, Georgia, they move the ball very methodically, while TCU is more of a fast-paced NASCAR type of offense. So the flow of the game, I think, is going to determine who wins this game. Is it going to be TCU in their NASCAR-like offense, a speed offense, versus Georgia's that likes to take their sweet time on offense? And this line of minus 12.5 is very interesting. So basically, with 12.5, we are trying to see if Georgia's going to win by 2 touchdowns. But we have a tale of 2 different teams here in this matchup. We have TCU that have, time and time again this season, have found a way to win. And we have Georgia, who has dominated against almost everyone they've played this season. But I am going to go with, I think Georgia is going to win this game, but with the way sports have been in 2022, and we're technically still in 2022 for college football, so with the way college football's been this season, with the way sports have been in 2022, TCU may end up winning this game. But I think TCU, without a doubt, will cover in this matchup, but I think Georgia wins. And both teams, they have faced a lot of adversity. TCU, they faced more than Georgia. The only concerns we had about Georgia was all those players that left for the NFL, especially on defense. Georgia's defense has been good all season, but not as dominant as last year. While TCU, they have been criticized and doubted week in and week out, but they still keep winning. And now they have one last obstacle, and that is the defending national champions. To be the best, you got to beat the best. And I am going with the better defense in this matchup. As offense wins you games, defense wins the championships. We are in the championship game. So I'm going with the better defense in Georgia, but I do think TCU covers in this game. I think Georgia wins. I'm going to say 34-28. I think we're going to be in for a close championship game. I do not see this being a blowout in any way, shape, or form, but that is my prediction. Comment your prediction down below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, have a great day. And for those of you that only tune into my channel during the college football season, thank you for a great season, and I will see you next year.